Good afternoon, all of you. This is Sudharani. Today, under company law, we are going to discuss about secretary and secretary powers of secretaries. In previous class, we discussed about directors and their powers, different types of directors, their terms and conditions, legal obligations of the directors. Okay, and position of directors also we discussed in our previous class. And let us see today the secretary and powers of secretaries. Company secretary, who is the company secretary, and what is the status of company secretary, what are the qualifications. Okay, so generally every company need okay every company need effective management and administration. A company generally, the management of a company is generally taken care by the board of directors, and they are act as an agents on behalf of the company and undertake all the activities and functions of the company, right? And whereas administered by the company administration part is undertaken by the company secretary. So the company secretary plays an important role in the incorporation of a company because he is the one who undertakes the administration part of a various activities of a company. So let us see this company secretary, whose definition and how do they appoint and what are the qualifications and disqualifications of company secretary, and also his status in the company. Okay. So, a company secretary, as per Companies Act 2013, Section 2 of subsection 24 says, a secretary means a company secretary within the meetings. Not secretary means a company secretary within the meetings of a company. Sorry. The word secretary is derived from the Latin word secretarus, which means notary or a writer. That is the person to whom the secrets are entrusted, means the business secrets or whatever. That person is said to be a secretaress. Okay, and section 2 of subsection 24 of Companies Act says company means secretary means a company secretary within the meaning of section 2 of section 1 and C of the Company Secretaries Act 1980, and includes any other individual who's possessing the prescribed qualifications and appointed to perform the duties which may be performed by a secretary under this act and any other ministerial or administrative duties. The secretary is a one who any individual who possess and who has been prescribed the qualification, who possess the prescribed qualifications and appointed in order to perform the duties duties which are entrusted to the person called secretary as per the act. And not only that, on any other ministerial or administrative duties, such individual is said to be a secretary. So this definition has been taken from the Company Secretaries Act 1980. The definition of company secretary is taken from the Company Secretaries Act 1980. Okay. Now, about definition, we can also look into the characteristics. This helps. If you look into the above definition, the characteristics of this definition helps us to the definition of this company secretary helps us to understand the characteristics of a secretary. Okay. First one is only an individual can be appointed as a company secretary. That is, a firm or a body corporate cannot be a company secretary. Only individual. Like director also, see in our previous class we discussed about the director. Only a director can be a an individual can be a director of the company, but no body corporate or a firm. Same here also. The second definition, second character is a company secretary must possess the requisite qualifications that are prescribed in the central government. Whatever the qualifications the central government prescribed, those qualifications are to be possessed by an individual to be a company secretary. Then company secretary must also required to perform some ministerial or administrative duties and not the managerial duties. Managerial duties are taken care by the board of directors. The ministerial duties or administrative duties are to be looked after by these company secretaries. Okay. So he has to take care of all affairs of company to be and conducted as per the company's act. Okay, so company secretary is the ear, eye, and hands, while directors are the brain of the company. So the entire body of the face, whatever are there, they are like a ear, eyes, and hands of to the company, whereas directors are brain to the company, brain of the company. Okay, so because directors are the one who frame the policies, and company secretary is the one who hear and who see and who perform. Okay, that is the reason why they are ears, eyes, and hands of the company, and directors are brains of the company, because the directors frame policies, secretaries execute those policies. Okay, how do these company secretaries are appointed? So generally, a company which has a paid up share capital of 5 crores or more should have one company secretary at least. A full-time company secretary must be there. He should the company, okay. And how do he is appointed? By passing the resolution. How do he appointed? By passing a resolution. Appointment, okay, by means of passing a resolution of board of directors containing the terms and conditions of his appointment, including his remuneration. Okay, this required to appoint a company secretary, and his appointment will be subsequently approved by the shareholders. Once board of directors conduct a special resolution and appoint, then his appointment to be approved by the shareholders in the special resolution in the general meeting, and he shall not hold office in more than one company except in subsidiary at the same time. So a company secretary should work as a whole time company secretary to the one company only, not for other companies. But he can be a company secretary to the subsidiary companies which are under the holding company or his main company. Okay. Next, the first secretary of a company is generally nominated by the promoters, like directors. Okay, and his name is stated in the articles of association. The promoters will appoint the first secretary of the company, and they himself will nominate and mention his name also in the board of in the articles of association. Yes. Once board of directors in their first meeting confirm the name of the company secretary, okay, then that secretary should give his consent to work as a company secretary, the secretary of the company. He should give his written consent after appointment. Okay. So in this appointment order, the details of the appointment, whatever the company secretary has been appointed, his details, detailed information about the appointment of company secretary has to be provided to the registrar, because everything needs to be notified with the registrar. Remember, children, in case of companies. Okay, if it is a listed company, they also has to inform to the stock exchanges. Okay, now let us see the qualification of company. So look at here, appointment of company secretary. First thing you should remember, who can appoint, who is supposed to appoint? Companies which are having above 5 crores of capital, paid up capital, should appoint a whole time or full time secretary. And he cannot be a secretary for any other company, but he can be a secretary for the subsidiary companies of the company. The next second point is that how do he appointed? The board of directors, by passing special resolution, will special resolution with the terms and conditions of the appointment of a secretary, including his remuneration, will appoint. And this appointment of a company secretary by directors will be confirmed or approved by the shareholders through a general in a resolution in the general meeting. Okay, and next you should remember the company secretary at the time of formation of a company, promoter, how the first company secretary will be appointed. Generally, the first company secretary is appointed by the promoters or the subscribers of the company. They nominate him, they give the name of the person, and these promoters will also enter that first company secretary details in the articles of association, and the board will confirm that whether that person to be continued or not. They will confirm in the first annual general meeting. Okay, after the company incorporation. Now, whoever the company, so this is the procedure. Now, it's not only that, once a person has been or an individual has been appointed as a secretary to the company, he has to be informed. He has to be informed by a notice with the details of his terms and conditions, his salary, and then that secretary has to put his signature, his written consent, must give his written consent agreeing to act as a secretary of the company. And this appointment of company secretary details are to be submitted to the registrar by the company. If not, they will be punishable. If a company is listed under the stock exchange, then even the stock exchange, they're supposed to inform about the appointment of a company secretary. Now let us see the qualifications of company secretary. The company secretary qualifications, first statutory qualifications and professional, means to be a to act as or to appoint an individual as a company secretary, he possesses two different types of qualifications. One, statutory qualifications, the other, professional qualifications. Statutory qualification means must. A person, an individual to be a secretary, the qualifications which must to be have or possessed. So what are those statutory qualifications? If you look into that, statutory qualifications are such qualifications which are mandatory for a person to act as a company secretary. Of those, first, membership from Institute of Company Secretaries of India, means he should have completed ICS, that is, he should have a membership in the company secretaries of ICSI. You have a course called company secretary course. Okay, so they'll have a mains and advanced two papers and 2 levels. Under each level, almost some 8 papers will be there. So he should be, once they qualify, they should, their name will be registered and they'll become a member of the ICSI. Okay, company secretary, like chartered accountants, you know, na ICMA, ICI. Same way, for company secretaries, there is an institute called Institute of Company Secretaries of India, in which they get that membership only once they qualify. The second thing is membership from Institute Chartered Accountants of India. Either ICS company secretary they should have done, means CS they would have done, or CA they would have done, or CMA. Now this is it's cost and works accounts. So now we are calling cost and management accounts. Okay, so membership from Institute of Cost and Works Accounts of India, or we should postgraduated in the corporate secretaryship awarded by the recognized university in India, or degree degree in law, corporate secretaryship, postgraduate degree in corporate secretaryship, or from the recognized university, or he should have a degree in a law or corporate laws. Again, recognized. So any of these, if he possess, he can be a any an individual who possess any of these can be a company secretary. So what are the qualifications? Either he should have done company secretary course, or you should have completed his chartered accountant course, or he should have completed his cost and management accounting course, or he should have completed PG in a corporate secretaryship from a recognized university, or he should have completed a degree means a law or in a corporate laws from a recognized university. Okay. If he possesses everything is okay, but any one of this is important. Those are statutory qualifications. Now, apart from these statutory qualifications, to be a corporate secretary, a person, an individual must also possess some professional qualifications. So, what are those professional qualifications? Let us see. Sound education. Sound education means he should have a, excuse me, he should possess standard academic qualifications. Like since company secretary has to be perform multiple duties and desirable that he should be very well qualified. He should have like his academic graph should be upward moving, or he should have always in a distinction level. Generally, that will be preferable. Sound education means right from his basic academics, this person should have a good educational background, because it's a very responsible function and he has to perform various duties with utmost care and caution. Okay, so that is the reason why it is necessary and it is desirable to possess these qualifications. Next, ability to make sound judgments. A person, an individual who is going to be a company secretary must also possess a good judgments, depending on the situation. And generally, a company means so many conflicts, so many issues arises, and so many disputes they may need to face. So timely, situationally, whatever is required, he should be able to take a proper judgment, protecting the company from such issues and disputes. So that he should have a judgmenting skills. Okay, knowledge of office organization and business methods. Yes, a person who possesses the company secretary position must have the how to organize an organ. There is a subject, office organization subject, like how you have a business organization in your first semester. Same way, there is a subject called office organization, which they learn under the above qualifications, statutory qualifications, what you discussed. Under any of those, they learn. There one paper will be their office, especially in company secretary or secretarialship PG level. There you will have one paper called office organization. Then how an organization has to be maintained and controlled, how the staff, all these details will be there. Okay, so secretary should possess a practical knowledge of different systems of filing. So there, the filing system will be there, indexing system will be there. Okay. All the communication, how to communicate, all this will be there. Okay, you should be familiar with the modern trends of the office mechanization and automation. Like, see, nowadays everything online, right? He should not in a conventional manner. Whatever relating to the administration part of the work, filing work, or whatever communication part of the work from his side, all that he must be accustomed with the new technology. That is what. Next, knowledge of various laws. Yes, he is the one who has to administer whatever laws mean. He is the one who has to administer the company activities and take care. that the provisions of Companies Act to be followed by the company in order to avoid any legal disputes or legal obligations. So he should have the thorough knowledge of especially corporate, industrial, and commercial laws. He should have a knowledge under the corporate, commercial, and industrial laws, so that he can that knowledge helps him in make sure and ensuring that all the provisions of Companies Act have been followed while implementing any or undertaking any actions or activities. Knowledge of accountancy and taxation, yes, is the one again who must know what how to bookkeeping, basic knowledge of bookkeeping and accountancy, because for the purpose of tax, GST, and he is the one who has to take care the work for the benefit of the organization, right? So he should have that. Like knowledge of economics, banking, and finance. See, he is the one who is like a all-rounder. Key role. Who plays a key role? Anywhere. He is not only company secretary, CEO. Who is the CEO in the corporate companies? Corporate companies, chief executing officer. Uh, okay, if not companies, chief CEO, corporate, the one who acts a key role in the company or in any corporate body must possess the basic knowledge of all the round information. Like he should have the knowledge of accounts, knowledge of basic laws relating to the company and industries and commercial laws. He should have the basic knowledge of the banking, finance, economics. So that why he must have, because he is playing. We said just now, I said key role. He plays a key role in the entire organization and functioning of organization business. So he, if he know the knowledge, these aspects of basic information, he will able to take a judicial judgments. He will to take a judicial decisions, right? So he must possess. That's the reason why we said knowledge, not a qualification. Knowledge and desirable. It is desirable to possess the knowledge of all these economics, banking, finance, what the changes that are taking place in the economy, various economies, and what is the impact of economy in the changes in the economy on the company. That he will able to understand if you have the basic knowledge of the economics. Similarly, banking or okay, similarly finance related. He should have the knowledge about the money and capital markets. Impressive personality. What aspect impressive? So along with these academic or educational external skill and knowledges, you must possess certain personal qualifications or characteristic based qualifications. Like you should be possessing some personal qualities like sincerity, having common sense, enthusiasm to learn and know, sense of responsibility, and leadership qualifications he must possess. These are impressive personality means to be a company secretary, he need to possess those personal qualities along with this all-round information relating to the company. The next one is disqualifications of a company secretary. So, what are the disqualifications of company secretary? Means when a person can be disqualified from a company secretary position. Generally, a person of unsound mind, if a person becomes an unsound mind person, okay, suddenly he became mad or he distracted, whatever the reason, or when he involves like when he become an insolvent. Personally, if he become insolvent, see, an insolvent and bankrupt means full of debts, indebtedness. What happens when you are full of indebtedness or problems of your personal issues? You will not. No one can able to concentrate on their work or duty. So a person when he become an insolvent cannot become a company. He'll be disqualified as a company secretary. Okay. The next an order disqualifying a person for appointment of a company secretary. An order qualifying a person to appoint as a company secretary. That also cannot be like we cannot say some example like he while he became a but he did some misconduct or misconduct. So this ICSI will cancel his membership. Then also he cannot be a member of the. He cannot be a company secretary or any decisions of the directors or auditors or any other person who is not qualified in to enter into a contract means. Okay, then like not only this, but also if a director of a company cannot be act as a secretary. He cannot position two roles. Similarly, an auditor of a company also cannot become a company secretary, and or any other person who is not qualified. Okay. Mm. Now let us see the next one about secretary status of the company secretary. Who can be a company secretary? We have seen now who can be a company secretary. Two do different. An individual, okay, and who possess the statutory qualifications and professional qualifications can be a secretary, and who cannot be a secretary also we have seen. An individual who is not qualified, who is become insane or who became insolvent or who is acting as a director or auditor of a company cannot be a secretary. Now, what is his status in the company? What is his status? Under this, we are going to discuss about role of company secretary, duties of company secretary, and rights and powers of company secretary, liabilities and responsibilities, and other functions. So let us see. We discussed he plays a very key managerial role, right? So he's in a very key managerial role. So he must possess practical knowledge of his duties. Okay, and what he should have the knowledge. So when you are in a key role, you are supposed to have the basic knowledge. Theoretically, at the same time, you should supposed to know what are your duties, responsibilities, and what you are liable to. If you have this information only, a person can able to perform his function. Say, for example, you joined in an organization, and if your organization has in that organization, if you are to perform any function, they said, okay, you are appointed as an accountant. Come from tomorrow, join the office. But if you not allocated some work and what you are supposed to do, if you when what is your responsibility, what time you are supposed to complete, and if you don't complete, how you are going to liable. If these are not informed, you feel like a so total confusion, not able to work and know under what to do, what not to do, and sometimes if you don't perform within the limits, you may become a face of problems, right? So it is important for a person to be a secretary to know about his duties, responsibilities, and liabilities, because being a key managerial personnel in the organization, so he's also understand the duties towards the different people. Okay, what are his legal compliances? Right. So, professionalization of corporate management in the context of modern corporate culture has been increased. So, company secretaries plays a key role in shaping the distinct corporate entity. He is regarded as senior manager when professional. So, he need to discharge certain responsibilities. So, let us see what is a key managerial person means and what are his responsibilities. He plays an important role in implementing the decisions and company plays important role in implementing the decisions in the company, and hence future of company depends on the effectiveness of this person. Okay, company secretary. And the next key managerial personnel in relation to Companies Act 2013 means managing director or a CEO, a company secretary, and chief financial officer. These are the three people who are called as key managerial personnel. Who? Managing director or CEO or manager in the absence of full-time director, company secretary, and chief financial officer, CFO, CS, CEO. COO also there. Okay. These are the COO is nothing but this one. Company secretary. These are the three people who are called as key managerial personnel of a company. Okay. Now let us see the role of company secretary. Yes. He acts as a statutory officer. He acts as a coordinator. He acts as an administrative officer. Statutory officer. How, as a statutory officer, means in undertaking all the legal provisions of Companies Act and implementing them for the benefit of the company, means for securing the company and to make sure that company follow all the legal provisions of a Companies Act and conduct its business as per the provisions of Companies Act, he is responsible. Okay, he'll become a liable. The company secretary is an officer responsible for various compliances in the acts. So he's responsible. His responsibility increases when because he has been included in the key role personnel. Yes. He also the person who has to submit upon the annual returns of the company and also to sign upon the financial statements of a company. Okay. As per the SEBI regulations, company secretary shall act as a secretary to admit to the audit company. Okay, he is officer responsible to various compliances, the different acts. Okay, and liable to punishable by imprisonment or fine otherwise for the provisions of Company Act if he fails. Okay, and he is obligatory to sign on the annual report and financial statements of company, and also his duty to declare his duty is to declare corporate while incorporating a requirements of that have been met with the registrar may accept declaration. Yes. Under the Companies Act, SEBI regulation, a company secretary shall process to the audit committee in case of listed company. Under the Indian Stamps Act, duty of the secretary to see that all documents, as a letter of allotment, shares, certificate, debentures issued and duly stamped. So, at the time of issue of a company, whatever formalities are there, all those are to be undertaken. Make sure he should make sure are duly stamped. Means whenever whatever a document is issued, as following the Companies Act rules and regulations, he is supposed to make that documents are stamped. Okay, and as per the Income Tax Act, this is as per SEBI regulation. And now, as per the Income Tax Act, he is principal officer of the company. Okay, he is a principal officer of the company. Now, look at to that. Now, company secretary as a coordinator. Company, how he is a coordinator? Because he is between the top managerial and other level employees. So he has to coordinate what decisions, what policies are made by the board of directors. He has to execute them, the policies and all. Make sure that those policies are executed by the employees and other levels of people working in the organization. He has to make sure that the coordination would be there between the board of directors, other staff, that is shareholders, government. Okay, more than the employees, shareholders, government, and society. board of these four people. He need to bring a coordination between the four people. Who are those four people? Board of directors, shareholders, government, and the society. These four will be and bringing the coordination, maintaining the coordination among these four is the responsibility of the company secretary. Okay. Yes. As an administrator, company secretary as an administration. So administrator, like as an administrator, what he do means he has to make sure, I mean, a detailed analysis of various activities of the company, and he involves decision making an interdepartment. He also maintains need to maintain the interdepartmental relationship. Okay. So how, not only that, being a secretary, manager, key managerial personnel, you need to analyze the financial statements of a company, and he also need to consult whenever required. You need to consult the financial manager of the company and to suitable. He has to devise suitable and proper systems and accounting procedures, internal control, and internal audit. So control, like as a coordinator, he needs to maintain interdepartmental relationships first. Second thing, he, being a company secretary of the secretary, he needs to analyze financial statements time to time and see if any require any changes in the procedures and methods adopted by the company in recording of our transactions or accounting procedures and methods. There need to be uh, he must be in a position to make those changes with the consent of finance manager. Is it possible? Because okay, so depreciation generally. In depreciation method is that which they show like what you call depreciation fixed and the written down value is there. So is it okay for following fixed method or not? Do need to do is there any requirement? If he decides fixed instead of fixed method, let us follow the this, diminishing value method. Then he need to consult. If it is going to provide that good and benefit to the organization, we can change it. Like that, he should for that purpose means to understand the many methods or procedures adopted in recording or in maintaining the accounting books to be need to be changed or what. To know that, he need to analyze, and if any he feels, he should discuss with the finance manager. Next, company secretary is tax administration of the company. Yes, he not only do that, he also undertakes in tax planning and proper tax administration. Means he is the one who has to see the save the company from taxability. Means how the maximum exemptions what we can take. How can we save the company and protect the funds of the company from being taxed heavily, right? So whatever relating to the tax also, he involves in the tax matters also. Okay, so he plans the tax, he do the tax planning, and he makes proper administration, tax administration is nothing but what is the financial position, and what are the ways that can a company can exempt itself from the tax, or what are the ways a company have a ability means facility or eligibility to what you call to get the tax exemptions or tax rebates and all these aspects he will look into. Next, company secretary is required to advise and assist the directors on the recruitment, training, and policies. Yes, he also acts as an advisor and agent to the directors on the matters relating to the recruitment, training of the employees for the organization. So what do you do? has to make detailed analysis of various activities of the company, decision making in the company, interdepartmental relationship, and he has to be maintain interdepartmental relationship. Okay, and then needs to analyze the financial statements of company with the consultation with the finance manager. He has to suitable proper systems of accounting and internal audit, and deals with the tax administration of company and involves in tax planning. Okay, and he also required to advise and assist the directors in the matters relating to the recruitment training policies. Okay, so he plays an important role in order to protect the interest of the company properties and the company, make sure the growth of the company. His intellectual, not okay. Mhm. Yes. And he is also responsible to see all the properties of assets company are maintained and insured. All the assets of company are maintained and insured, properly maintained and insured. Okay. Important role to play safeguarding the company profits, properties, including all properties, ensure all the properties properly maintained and insured. This one, suitably register for each property which contains relevant information, and ensure that the statutory time limits relating to directors and shareholders meetings, payment, dividends, and interest are compiled with. So he need to see time limits are compiled within the date. Are compiled within the date. He should make sure. Okay. And now let us see the duties of a company secretary. What are the duties of a company secretary? What is his qualification? What are his responsibilities? You are seeing now. These responsibilities also possess certain duties. The company secretary should discharge the following duties. What are those? First one, he must provide guidance to the directors collectively or individually can, time to time, with regard to their duties and responsibilities. So the first duty is guidance to the directors of company. He can give individually or collectively. Okay, time to time he should give the guidance. Uh, Guidance in relating to what? With regard to their duties, responsibilities, and powers. Okay. Not only that, he should also facilitate the convening meetings. Means whenever there is a meeting, he should need to take care. Means whenever it is required, he need to facilitate take the meetings of the board, committees, and general meetings, whatever meetings that takes place. Is the person necessary to make sure that the meetings are conducted timely. Unimportant decisions are taken. Next, to obtain approval from the board, a government, and such authorities are required. Yes, he is the person. That is the reason why we said he should possess corporate law. Okay, got approvals from the board or from government or from a sorry from a relative authorities in case of stock exchange related or the SEBI. Like whoever the stock exchanges, whoever responsible. Next, assist the board in ensuring good corporate governance. Yes, the board has to make sure, he should make sure that the board of directors follow good corporate governance. We discussed what is corporate governance in our previous class, right? Next. Yes, companies issue shares to the public, right, to raise their capital. Relating to the matters relating to issue of shares or debentures or any other documents related matters, again is in the hands of the company secretary only. So issue of certificates, that may be a share certificate, debenture certificate, or any other certificates relating to company. Next, in the event of winding up of a company, he should also undertake the responsibility of verifying the statements to be submitted to the liquidator. See, when a company get into wind up or get into steps into the closure, then he is the person who is responsible to see whether all the statements have been properly submitted or not before they submitting the to the liquidator. Liquidator means the person who involves in a process of liquidation of a company legally, because these statements, they should not miss any single shareholder settlement, any outsider settlements, and any assets unnecessarily nobody want to lose. So for their benefit or for the outsiders benefit, for both the reasons, this company secretary has to look into the statements and make sure these statements are verified. Okay. The next, supervise the timely filing of tax returns. Yes. He is not only to take care planning the tax and adjusting or following the tax deductions, exemptions and all. He also responsible to see that tax returns are filed on time. Okay, the tax returns are filed on time. That is that makes he should make sure. Next. Yes, in the beginning only said what is this? A stamp. Every document that is coming out from the company with the name of the company must be stamped. So that he should make sure, he should ensure that every document, legal document, especially of company, uh, are yes. Yes. Next, what do we have? Yes, as a chief officer of the organization, he also expected to protect the interest of the shareholders. When they are the one who is support to the organization, because of whom organization still runs. So you should see their interest is not affected with the decisions of a company or directors. That means he is supposed to ensure that the company directors, secretaries, and company have a proper meetings time to time and durations. Yes. Next, a project to develop project knowledge image of the company outside work. Yes, company related projects or bringing the image of the company and all. Any other duties that whatever are assigned by the company, that the directors, board of directors, those are also to be performed by the the company secretary. The next one is rights of the company secretary. How he has some powers and responsibilities. Similarly, company secretary also has certain rights. Okay, so let us see, and he has to be, when being in a key managerial position, he is supposed to possess certain powers also. If he have been given some powers, then only he will able to make sure that the orders have been, his orders have been implemented, and or he can able to take the action for no those who don't follow his instructions. So, company secretary will be given some rights and powers. So, let us see what are those powers and rights. First, we are discussing about the rights. As a right to supervise and control secretarial departments of the company. That's the his main right, which is supposed to be there. So he should have a right to, he should able to control, supervise and control the secretarial department of company, and he also should have right to sign the documents of company with okay, important principal documents, whatever are there, like a memorandum, articles, like on such principal documents, he should have signed. And next, he also has a right to issue the share certificate of company. Okay, almost all these here and there, the way you express differs. Sometimes board of directors may delegate some of their powers to the company secretary. Accordingly, enter into agreement on behalf of directors and do all the functions are involved. Sometimes the board directors may delegate some of their powers to the okay. The next has right to be identified by the company for any loss suffered by the yes. To indemnify the company for any loss suffered by him while discharging his official duties. Say, for example, when you're performing his duties, if any loss caused to him, suffered by him while discharging official duties, then he has the right to indemnify that from the company, means recover it from the company. Now, liabilities. If you see the liabilities, what are his liabilities? Generally, he is liable to is that two tests, contractual and secretary, statutory. What are the contractual duties or liabilities? Contractual liabilities means liable for omission or commission of certain acts. See, if we fail to follow or adopt any acts, he is liable. No? He is liable. So that omission or commission of duties we call as the contractual liabilities. The liabilities which are arrived or erased or raised due to his omission and commission of the acts implementing the Companies Act or provisions of Act, such liabilities we call as the contractual liabilities. Generally, you are expected to perform his duties with reasonable care and skill. Okay, any person, and he is liable to the company for damages caused by his willful misconduct or negligent duty. So, if he is running a company and they are supposed to perform his duties, is it reasonable? Is it reasonable care? It's responsibility of the secretary to place the documents that are needed for the discussion. So he is responsible to see all the provisions are followed. This okay, and his board meetings are duly convened and constituted as per the provisions of Companies Act. Okay. Next, before commencement of the board meetings, uh, primary duty is give not less than 7 days notice to give in writing. You need to give a notice to the members not less than 7 days in writing. Okay. Okay. Next. Place documents that needed. He need to place all the documents in the document. Suppose discuss at the meeting is the VP of secretary to with the secretary. Hmm. Next is that he is duly welcome directors to the meeting and obtain their signatures of the attendance register. If any resolution proposed and discussed at the meeting, his duty is secretary circulate them among the directors. He is to circulate among the directors. Contact and request all the directors to attend the meeting. He is not only that, he need to make the arrangement the facilities required by this regard. Yes. When they are sending a notice of a meeting, his responsibility is to enclose an agenda also. Okay. Hmm. Video to someone meeting of both. Yes. And there's our acquisition. Hmm. What else are left after that? Of company secretary with regard to various meetings here. His liability of company secretary, contractual liabilities and statutory liabilities. We have to, okay. Liabilities of company secretary, contractual liabilities. The company is expected to perform his duties with reasonable care and skill. Okay. Uh, so, what are contractual liabilities? Omission and commission of certain acts. According to the agreement, he becomes a liable. So, what kind of omissions and commissions we'll see. Secretary is expected to perform certain duties at a reasonable means when appointing only his duties will be given. So those duties he need to perform with a care and skills. So if he fails to do that, and because of his carelessness or negligence, if any loss caused to the company, damages he is supposed to pay that. He is liable to further damages. Next, he is liable for any other breach of authority, means beyond his powers, other than the company. If he uses his powers for any other purposes, then also he has to pay the damages to the company for such breach. And then restrained from disclosing confidential information. Actually, company secretary is supposed to close all the information relating the confidentially relating to company, any information relating to company confidentially. If he fails that and shares with anyone and any damages causes to the organization, he is responsible for that also. Okay. Stands in a fiduciary position of the company means if he making a secret profit means using his power he makes a profits of his own instead of work for the company, then he finds guilty, he is a then a company can sue him and he will be punishable as per the court. And if he makes any secret profit, he has to surrender the entire secret profit, whatever he made to the from the company. And he is also liable to indemnify the company or third party for the loss suffered by them due to his fraudulent behavior. He himself has to bear. Now, statutory liabilities means liabilities based on, these are contractual liabilities. These are means he is acting beyond the power, contractual agreements. So when he acts, all the whatever the acts are beyond the contractual agreements, he is liable. And what are the statutory liabilities? Means as per the law, he faces certain liabilities. Okay, by the Companies Act. We have criminal and civil liabilities. If he failure to perform any of his statutory duties, whatever are there, he will be liable. Okay. So what are those? Default in filing return of allotment. See, on behalf of company, all the legal formalities has to be taken by the company secretary. If he fail to file any important documents, any registrations, he will be liable as per court. So those are filing a return of allotment. He will be filed, means he will be liable. And what extent? 1,000 for every day. Fine. Okay. Up to 1 lakh, it will continue if he default continues. Second one is default in delivering share certificates, debenture certificates. If he fails to deliver the share certificates or debenture certificates to the shareholders or debenture holders, or any delay or any manipulations, if we do, he will be punishable up to 5 rupees. It can be last up to 5 lakhs, maximum, minimum 5,000 to maximum of 5 lakhs. Yes, annual reports. Again, he has to see. He's a person who has to file all the documents with the registrar, right? Has to take care of the registration process. So if he fail filing of any document, he will be fined. So depending on the nature of document, his fine differs. So if he fail to file the annual returns, then tax related, he will be fined up to 50,000, the minimum of 50,000. And if he continues the same mistakes again and again, maximum of 5 lakhs. Yes. Again, if he fail in laying down the profit and loss account and balance sheet in the general meeting, annual general meeting, again minimum 50,000 to imprisonment or both punishment he will face. So finally, due notice to the board of meetings. He will be fined up to 25,000. Okay. If you don't give the proper notice, a board notice of board meetings, he will be fined. Yes. And after the meeting, at the meeting, and before, duties and responsibilities before the commencement of meeting, you need to give due notice to the members, board of directors. You need to inform the reason for the meetings, and before 7 days before only should give the notice to the board meetings. And you also must compile the meeting related documents, and also should all conduct the meeting. Okay. And also summon meeting of the company and enclose the agenda. When he is sending the notice to the directors about the meeting of the company, he should enclose the agenda. And also he should contact request all the directors to attend the meeting and provide all the facilities for the meeting. And any resolutions are passed or discussed in the meeting, that has to be properly circulated to all the directors and shareholders. And all the documents relating to the meetings are to be filed properly. And also he is responsible to welcome the directors to the meetings and take the signatures as a part of their attendance. During the meeting, what he can do during the meeting is, when meeting is going, see that quorum is attended. If any decision is taken, the quorum is present in order to conduct the meeting. Okay. If quorum is present, they can continue the meeting, otherwise they cannot continue. So he should announce in the meeting. So what is the quorum? Minimum number of directors to attend the meeting. So what is that minimum number? 1/3 of the total strength of directors, or 2, whichever is high. Okay. The minimum is 1/3. If directors are only 3, two directors at least to be attend. It is next one. He also makes sure that election of the chairman. If during the meeting, if a person chairman is not there, this directors should elect the chairman among themselves. That also he should make sure. Means whatever decisions, whenever the directors are formed, he should make sure that all the related activities are undertaken in that meeting. Should also ensure that chairman conduct the meeting as per the agenda. So what he should do, that agenda should be framed first, and that agenda has to be given to all the directors so that they come prepared, and chairman also should to be given so that he can come prepared and discuss the same in the meeting as per the agenda. Take notes of proceedings. When meetings and resolutions are taking place, according to the agenda, the notes of proceedings are to be taken by the company secretary, and is also responsible to decide the date and time of the next meeting. Where and when and what time, what date, and where this meeting is going to be held. That also has to inform. After the meeting, what are his responsibilities? He need to review the meetings of the chairman and managing directors of the company. Preparing the minutes. Minutes means what? A written document which is prepared after the drafted after the meetings. Okay, of the company. Then each whatever the minutes are drafted, that copy of that meetings has to be sent to the directors of the company for their information and comments. And the next, it also to be filed, and we should make sure that is available for all the members of the company. He is not only distributing or giving the minutes copy to all the directors, he should also collect the feedback of their and of those directors about the meetings and minutes. Okay, and this is how he should maintain this minutes book. He should maintain this minutes book in a proper order, with the numbered pages, page numbers given, and signatures obtained. Okay, and should keep open this minutes book for all the members' difference, and this should be entered. When to prepare, within the 30 days of meeting, they are supposed to prepare the minutes. Then towards the general meetings, duties, responsibilities, and general meeting, you can do functions of company secretary. So you can go through these topics. So whatever are important that we referred and we discussed in the class. So please go through. Okay. Right. Thank you. We'll meet next class on next Saturday with the new topic, that is meetings of companies. Thank you.